breakout rooms, everybody?
Now the recording just kicked in.
That was me.
We'll see. Do you see this one, everybody? Oh,
Yeah.
Which one?
Yep, there you go. So choose your room accordingly. I'm going to try to get out of here now.
Oh, I actually don't see the rooms anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, can you post the rooms, the links in chat?
Yeah,
join?
no rooms.
So now I'm
Sean departed.
breakout rooms. Let's see. Create. Add a room. Add a room. Add a room. Okay. So there should be 5 rooms open now.
Nope.
Oh,
Why can't you see these? I see them.
Don't see them. Don't see them.
Let me see.
Oh,
it.
good.
Unless you're a host, you can't actually see the rooms.
Yeah, I'm supposed
you
to
can
be.
invite us to the room.
You should be
Are
able to
the
join
rooms-
them.
The room should be open now, or is
No, we're getting a message that says we're waiting to be assigned to a room.
I don't even see that.
I don't
haven't
either.
seen-
Didn't work.
If everyone puts their number in chat, can you break us out that way, Rob?
I'm trying to figure that out.
Rob, there is an option to allow users to select their own room.
Yeah, that's
You
what.
just got to choose that.
I thought that's what I had done.
Okay.
or I can quickly assign people if they want.
Hang on for a second. I'll get this done.
Who wants
There's
to?
one of the chat rooms about technology. I'm just asking for a friend.
No, the problem here is real simple. Rob said he didn't want to work on technology, and the technology said bullshit.
Yeah, well, I just sign automatically create.
No, Rob, I'll assign people. Who wanted room number 1?
Yo.
Amanda,
I'll go
I'm
for it.
catching. Anybody else?
Howard.
Howard, David.
David.
We'll
Rob
do this
S.
as a lift the barn. Anybody else want room 1?
Rob S.
Rob S. Selkowitz.
Yep.
Amanda, I got David, Howard, Rob. Yeah.
One was remote work
And
and
Louise.
another.
Oh. Okay.
I'll go. Actually, I take it back. I'll just go wherever you need to fill some.
You know what? It's going to be chaos. Just I'm going to try to recreate these rooms.
Okay, I'm going to room 1 apparently.
You can choose your own. No, you can choose your own.
Are we coming back together later?
Yes, we are.
Okay, great.
Oh, you
So,
can join your breakout room.
Can you join the breaker rooms now?
I've been assigned one.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I
can join now.
Too.
Oh, it's the same one.
Okay. Can you should be able to. I did click on the feature that said you were able to go into your own room. If you're still left in the main wing, I can assign you. Deb, where were you going?
I was going to go where you needed. It seems like there's lots in room 1, so I don't need to go there.
Okay.
But that's my option. It says I've been
Okay.
assigned.
Everybody went to 1.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been assigned to 1, but I wanted 3.
Let's close all of these down. Technology is great until it doesn't work.
Well, this is like showing up to the conference room and it's already full and there's an executive in there and you're like standing outside and you're like, should I like knock on the door and be like, hey, our room.
You were in Idaho this week.
You know what? This is like a good support group for the people that didn't act quickly, right? Like, the people that didn't go right away. 30 seconds from now, they're joining us anyway. I don't know what they're holding on to in their other room right now, but all right. Let me create the rooms again, Rob, and if it doesn't work, we'll just assign people. But
yep,
they should be joining us in 17 seconds.
They're coming in through the transporter or whatever that is onto the space deck.
Yep. Tammy, I'm envious of your background. It looks very work from anywhere.
Cottage. I
Are
don't know.
you
Let me
in,
see.
are you in Pefferlaw there, Tammy Stern?
I'm in Pefferlaw. See the river. I don't know if you can see the
Oh,
river. Yeah.
gorgeous.
All right, this
Yeah.
is really a psychological experiment on people's patience on Zoom. So feels like I'm learning something here. I am going to recreate 5 rooms that hopefully allow us to do this. And if it doesn't, I'll go one by one. So recreate, open all rooms. Can you join a room? Yes or
Yeah,
no?
I can join a room.
Okay, for those that can join the room that you remember you want to go. For those who can't, I will eventually assign you.
The only room
13.
available to choose is one.
We only see one. Room one.
There's
Everyone's
something
gone back
going
to
on
room
here,
one.
Sean, There's a glitch. There's a glitch happening.
Interesting.
We've
There
used
are
this too many times for this to be occurring now.
5 rooms. Okay.
Put your hand up if you only see one.
I can reassign
Room.
people that have left us. Okay, so let's just do this. Tammy.
Room 3.
Okay, hold on. Everybody's I got to do this one by one here. Bruce,
Tammy,
I'm
where
looking
do you
at-
want to go?
I
Bruce,
thought
I'm
it was
looking at
10,
your room 3. Got it.
but you only had
Thank
5
you.
rooms. So I'm like, okay, the fifth room.
Tammy, whoever is low, I will definitely bulk you up. Peter, I got 3 fingers up. Peter, 3 fingers.
Yes, 3.
Okay, 3.
Charlotte, 3.
Charlotte is 3.
Tammy's 5.
Tammy, I thought I already assigned you.
Great.
All right, where are you going, Charlotte?
3.
Oh, it says I already assigned you. Did something come up on your screen?
It says I can join group 1.
Oh, wait a minute. I can join rooms around my own now.
Oh, finally. Yeah, okay,
I'm going
going.
to, I'm going to 5.
Okay, Peter.
Yep.
Yeah, it says you should be able to join. Like, is there a prompt not shown up? What a gong show.
Yeah, it's there's a little glitchy thing happening with our Zoom friends. Like serious, Sean.
Well, the problem was I briefly had a disconnection, so maybe it's
Could be even now we all should be seeing the same thing, and even me, it's not operating like it used to. So it's okay. We'll get it done.
okay. Yeah, I'm not too sure why
So
you're
we
not
got
seeing it, Peter,
Rudy-
because Peter
We got Rudy
Miller
and, yeah,
not joined, move to 3. Yeah, it should have broadcast a message to you, Peter, saying join.
So when you pull up breakout rooms on the screen, guys, I now have a join button. So I see all 5 rooms. Do you see all 5 rooms? Peter, do you see them all? When you pull up breakout rooms? No. Rudy, do you?
I missed you, Rudy.
You see them? And if you click on the blue join,
able
you
to
can
join the
go to
room.
that room.
I was all by myself, so I came back.
It's
I
like
can talk to that person anytime.
it's like putting bullfrogs in the wheelbarrow here.
Most people are in room 1, Sean, and there's no one in room 2, I'm guessing, and no one in
No,
room 5.
I'm guessing everybody for some Zoom-based reason went to 1. So
And 3, there's a
3.
4 and 3. So when you look at in your breakout rooms, Tammy,
Yes, that's why I went to 5, because I thought, all right. That
so
was
you
an
could
interesting
you have a
topic,
choice
but-
of 3 or 1 now.
Okay, well
well, why
then.
don't unless people were deciding on not going, we'll make it down to 3 rooms maybe. But
What
Let's
was
just go to
3?
3.
1,
Skills
3,
I don't
or
know, but I'll
5.
go there anyway.
I'll go there too. Do you want me to go to 3? Where do you want me to go?
Yeah, go to 3, Deb.
Okay. Go to 3
Just go
And
to
don't come
3.
back.
and come back later. Okay. I'm
And
Now, there's
Catherine, you've
no
just
one in room 2. Yeah.
what the heck
Catherine's
happened here?
online.
Unbelievable. And then the recording, what happened there? Like,
I don't know. It was on and it was off, I guess, and I thought it was just on your screen. So the breakout rooms is tremendously slow. There's
No, they didn't
everybody's
go. I
in
don't
there.
know. I don't know why. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Never let them see you sweat. Where, Rob, can you go to 3?
Yes.
Catherine, just I know you're looking at rooms. We're just maybe going to try to go to room 3 or assign people. Maybe you can cover off a broader range of topics. Unassigned. Catherine 3. Let's see if that works. Hey, Gord.
Hi, Sean.
Oh,
Right.
I'm just hanging out in the main room trying to traffic people. You were in earlier though, right, Gord?
Yes, I was, but as I dropped into the
Oh,
chat.
yeah, I think you're muted.
Oh.
Or maybe I'm muted.
No, I can hear you okay.
Oh, now I'm good.
Okay. So yes, it was just I need to drop off to do another call that had been scheduled over the top of it. So I've had an invite from Rob to join room 3. So
all right, get on
I'll
in.
do that. All right.
Hey, Sean, I got disconnected for a while.
That's why I'm here. I'm
Sorry.
hanging out in the boring basic room. Good to see you, by the way.
Good to see you. It's been a long time.
Which room were you in?
Anywhere would you?
Let's try room 3, Jovan.
Hello there.
Hey, hey. Did you exit gracefully or?
No, I did not. I don't know what happened. I'm like, why am I out? Okay, never mind. I'm not going back in.
What a gong show.
I know. Rob's got it under control in there. They're talking about AI, so it's all exciting.
Yeah. All right. Well, you live and learn. But that one, I've had some Zoom things happen before, but that one's a first.
Well,
So,
you know, and to your point, now it will never happen again because you're going to always worry about it and plan for it, and it will never happen again, Sean. So at least it's done.
no, it was funny. I thought I'll pre-assign rooms ahead of time and just I'll label them so people don't have to do it. But then I thought, we'll see what numbers we get. If you know we get 25, which probably 5 per room was good. So I thought, all right, let's just do it on the fly. But I've done it on the fly about 20 times before without issue. So
yeah.
I think what happened was the moment I tried to do it, the moment it's either my home internet failed or whatever. So I was offline for about 20 seconds. So
oh yeah, that's it.
That might have triggered it. Thanks for all your upfront stuff.
No problem.
Your stuff really helped this morning. I hit like a wall at like 11 o'clock last night, and I was like, I got to get some shut eye. And so I
just go to bed.
I have to wake it up. Hopefully, I mean, my interest on this is to produce something here that is maximum value, minimum effort. And so,
yeah,
my hope is, I'm not too sure what your bandwidth looks like, but if I can get 9 or 10 people out of this group just to do a sliver of kind of our 10 different sections, it would be awesome. I'm not too sure if you're able to provide some small level of input to that.
I probably would be able to, and we should tap Tammy because she's in the biz of HR consulting. I'm not, you're not.
Well, I presumed you had known. I should have presumed that you had known her, right? So yeah, I know Tammy more than half a life ago now. Yeah.
Did you know her from like
Procter & Gamble?
Oh, you knew her from P&G. So my little cohort of Tammy, Kim Parley, and Bruce Sellery all came from that gang, right?
No, that would make sense. I know Bruce quite well. Was Kim P&G?
Yeah. Oh no, is she P&G? No, I think it's just because she's part of this cohort, as well as yeah, she's probably just part of the cohort. I met Tammy first, and then Bruce through Tammy, and then I was his BNN guest for years, and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a BNN brood there too, right? I think
with Kim and which I just think is like, if you live long enough, Sean, things just flip over, right? So there's Kim doing Money Talks, which was her BNN show for TD. It's like, okay, what the heck? She gets paid better, so it's all good.
No, for sure. No, it's I remember well, it's great when you wear different professional hairnets. One summer, somebody from an agency said, look, I've seen you on some webcasts and stuff, and you seem to be pretty confident in front of the camera. Do you want to host a TV show? I'm like, what? Sure. Pitch me. And it was a show called Undiscovered Canada. It was like way up the dial, but Blue Ant Media did it. And so Infinity paid for the whole deal, and I got to drive across Canada to all these places that nobody ever goes to, right? That island where all the donkeys are on in Sable Island.
Oh, wow.
And like the border of Northwest Territories, and Saskatchewan actually has a desert, so it's our only desert. There's a few other ones. It was like
was
really
there
cool.
Food too? Were you like the Anthony Bourdain of Canadian travel?
We had one, so we did 2 segments. Yeah, it was a little bit Anthony Bourdainish. We hit the best restaurant in, was it Red Deer? It was like a smaller Albertan town, and then one of the best restaurants in Halifax. So yeah.
Awesome. So are you bringing them back at 11:15? Is that the plan?
I should give them a warning here. 2-minute warning.
Did you Have you been tracking with Candace Factor and the Disco platform?
I know she invited me to something and I wasn't able to make it. And I know they got some really good valuation on what they were doing from somebody.
Yeah, and
but
more. Like
I don't exactly know what it is. So
so it's a platform for content creators and thought leaders to create their cohort-based learning and market it and the whole enchilada, right? So they're starting with a scholarship program for 20 folks to begin with, and it's a 4-week intensive. The woman who did Akimbo for, Seth Godin is helping on the content. So it's like for thought leader entrepreneurs to really ramp up their cohort-based learning. So it's interesting. And they keep getting money thrown at them.
it's
I love it. So they want to be the Shopify of content creators.
It's not a bad idea. We just recently did some executive education, and the learning curve involved even in using a platform was just ridiculous, right? Things you learn, like, oh, we used Eventbrite. Well, Eventbrite holds on to all your revenue until the event gets done, right? So we quickly moved to, okay, well, that's a stupid idea. Let's move to some type of Stripe setup. So yeah.
Here they come, or at least here comes Nate.
Hey, Nate, how are you? I love people's profile photos that just the very positioning of their hands and microphone suggests that they're smart. So
I know. I love that Nate is on mute, but we get to watch him speak on his profile.
And we get to talk about him until he wants to come back.
Yeah.
So
he's probably taking a break.
So that was fun, everybody. In the spirit of Guild Meets Tech, my hope is that didn't traumatize too many people.
Slightly.
Big ahas for the room, and I guess most of you were in the same room, so maybe there aren't ahas for the public good, but I know there was at least 2 rooms. Any thoughts for the full room in terms of what you're deeply thinking about now?
And Amanda, why don't you take it?
I guess my takeaway from the conversation is that it's still very diverse, the types of perspectives that everyone's had in terms of coming to a consensus of what's going to work best as far as how to move forward in an office or not in an office. Like, it just seems like everyone's had a wide spectrum of experiences and why they think one or the other works best, or even how a hybrid works best. So it feels like to me like that we'll never kind of go back to like one way of doing things. It'll just be like per company, and how that company evolves, those things will shift. That seems to be just sort of generally what I'm getting from everything that I've heard, which I don't know what we think about that as far as just trying to define something that might be just undefinable going forward. But yeah, that's just what I sort of got from it.
Very interesting. And yeah, probably for a long period of time, right?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll establish some norm. We'll see. Any other thoughts? Maybe we'll quit. There's a small enough group of people of us. Maybe just some quick thoughts around the room. Rob, you're usually good for some graphical, if not anecdotal, good thoughts. What's your thought?
I think I'm leaning into hybrid. The word hybrid is going to be my word for 2022. Am I breaking up?
A little bit, but now you're back.
The word hybrid, that is my word for 2022. Hybrid strategies, hybrid work. I think we're created the hybrid generation. So in tech and work, there were some good ideas in our room about work by wire, like farming by wire, driving by wire, where groups of humans join in groups of work that are augmented by technology. That was not me, but it was Peter, it was Bruce talking about that. But hybrid is my word for 2022 too.
Cool. Deborah, some 3-sentence thoughts?
Which one? Me?
Yeah. Oh, are there multiple Deborahs?
There's Deb and me, Deborah.
I was going Deborah.
Okay. it's interesting to hear the different thoughts on how purpose and communication are tied together. And I think there are some other comments about, it really does depend on certain companies and certain leaders. I think sometimes leaders forget that community doesn't mean touching you, physically touching you or hugging you or whatever. It's community, it can be virtual as well, but it does offer a lot of challenges of, we've evolved as human beings to a point where we rely on technology to give us everything in life as how we do things and how we work. And I think culture is certainly a lot more challenging for companies and leaders to make sure that they maintain without having that water cooler effect. And I think that's the biggest challenge for a lot of people is, that sense of, whether you're being alone and you rely on that water cooler for your social activities, but there's also a lot of communication that happens within body language. And we miss that just being on a Zoom call.
As
So I think
today is a perfect
communication
example.
Yeah, I think communication changes.
Yeah, no, for sure. Is there a hope? Have you seen a hope?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we do a lot of things internally for each other to really kind of foster that communication. There are people in my office in Toronto that I haven't met, and I've been working with them for a year and a half. And
crazy.
so, that there's a whole excitement about that, coming together again, I suppose. I'm not personally ready, and there's too much going on to for me to be comfortable with huge socialization events. But that sense of culture and community, we will always have to work on it. Shopify, perfect example of companies that are going 100% remote and large. And, there's huge vacant buildings in Ottawa because people are now opting to work differently.
Wonderful, Deborah. All right, we're going to take this to 10:30 as well, just to manage some expectations here for people in terms of calendar. Rob Salkowitz, any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think we had some interesting conversations about there's differences between established organizations and how they're managing the change, and how just speaking from my own experience about the particular challenges of launching a startup in this environment, and all of the issues of trust and communication and coordination that every organization is facing are magnified when you have a group that's never met in person, that has never had the opportunity to build those lines of trust, and that's scaling quickly. The startups are in out of control situation in the best of situations, and this has taken one of the valves off the boiler, so it makes it a little more challenging.
Wonderful. Yeah, so true. It's and yet there's so many more new startups actually happening right now, right? So it hasn't caused people to stop.
It makes me wonder if this is a microcosm of what's going on elsewhere. That's all.
Yeah. Douglas.
So I'm in trouble. Okay. I think what was interesting in our group is how quickly we went from technology to human impact. And the fact that, augmented anything, implementing any sort of intelligence into the workforce has a human component to it. And how are we going to do things like universal income in order to support the people who are displaced by the technology? But I think overall, too, we acknowledge there was a transition period that's going to happen, that we don't know how long and how violent it's going to be. Violent's the wrong word, but variable or risk-based it's going to be. I personally believe it's going to be smooth in that transition as the current workforce contributes their knowledge to the artificial intelligence, and then those systems take over. But I think fundamentally we come to that place of saying, if this is going to happen, if we're going to hybridize, how do we support the people who are left behind?
Interesting thought, and one, we'll probably be tackling this year, next year. We could probably do that every single year for the next 3 or 4 until it starts to settle out.
And that would be great, because that's how a transition is best handled. You handle it at stages, and you adjust as you go along.
Yeah, Really good points, Douglas. Thank you. Peter.
Yeah, I think we have to look at youth and the new employee today. And in our group, it was brought up that, and I think rightfully so, that the candidate for a job is really interviewing the company to see whether they're a proper fit. And my thing is corporate social responsibility and social innovation and social enterprise. So I think companies today have to understand what are the needs of the new employee. And I think corporations also have to work with the academic community, the nonprofit community, and the charity community to learn how to give back to the community.
Really interesting points, Peter. It's almost like we need a company resume, right? We expect all these job responses to have one. No, where's your resume, company? Let's see your credentials. Really good. Nate, I know you had some connection issues. Are you back on again? Can you speak to the topic?
Yeah, man. The picture of me speaking is supposed to make me look smart, but really I'm nothing but hot air. So I love the comments. I just couldn't respond. What's the question again? What would you like?
Just we're doing the around the horn part of this session, where it's just like any summary thoughts or prevailing ideas that you have on your mind right now.
Yeah, I think as somebody who leads an international team, I liked the discussion around how to build trust. I liked how there was a bit of a conversation around mentoring, buddying up in our breakout. I thought that was really clever. And we're a 50-person startup scale up, so it's getting a bit unwieldy. So I appreciated the discussion around those two things and other people's viewpoints. It really helps me kind of think outside the box.
Wonderful, Nate. I'm glad we could provide that forum today. Daniel.
Yeah, without talking forever, I think sort of the philosophical question as we look at the future of work and how to lead employees and contractors and people who actually do work is making that decision on a role base or on an organizational base as to whether we're renting talent or we're developing talent. And I think, there's going to be a great disparity between roles and value streams for services provided. But I think having clarity about that informs not only investments in automation technologies, global sourcing, but also the skills that are required to lead with purpose, to be better at coaching than micromanaging, and shifting towards sort of a somewhat autonomous operating model around small teams that perform and compete to collaborate internally and potentially can provide services external to the organization by creating micro centers of excellence. So I think that's going to be an exciting shift this decade and a challenge to a lot of people who are in a position to lead a smaller team, who might come in with a management focus rather than a leadership and coaching focus. So that's an interesting trend to follow.
It's a great distinction there. I wrote that down, renting and developing talent. That's a really good articulation of that pendulum, I think. Thanks, Daniel. Bruce.
I think to liken where we are to a foodie kind of thing. I'm a bit of a foodie. In the olden days when I wanted to make a stew, I would put lamb and potato and carrots into a slow cooker, and we would cook that for hours and hours and hours until it matured. And I was able to test and taste because I could open the lid. Now we've got pressure cookers where you put everything in and you hope that in 40 minutes time, when you open the lid, things are good. And I think that's what COVID has done with us. We've put us into a pressure cooker, and now we're beginning to lift the lids on. And sometimes we go, oh, it worked. And other times we're going, oh, it didn't. And I think that's the new management style. It's pressure cooking in a fast way, but the outcome is only determined once you lift the lid.
The name of a new book written by Bruce Wade, Pressure Cook versus Stew Pot, your company, coming to bookstores near you. I love it. Thank you, Bruce. And I'm coming to your house for stew, I think. Gordon Mullen.
Yeah, so listening to some of the stuff that we're talking about there kind of puts me in mind of the what I've just dropped into the comments about this idea of kind of being a kind of a slash career, gets called all sorts of things. I think because we have access to working for companies in multiple different places or being part of multiple organizations, I think that's going to become much more of a reality for a lot more people, because suddenly you can participate in groups that you simply would never have had the chance to do if that required physical presence. So we're going to get, and also as things like Starlink come online and you bring another 3 billion people into the global economy, into the information economy that they have access to both learning and contributing, we're going to see an absolute explosion of viewpoints and input that we just haven't seen before. So I think work is not going to be working for an employer, and that's going to be true for a lot more people than it has been historically.
It'll be interesting as well, some of the knock-on effects in terms of safety nets and things for people that might not be able to manage that as well, I presume.
Yeah. I mentioned universal basic income in the room that we were in as well. I think with the massive acceleration towards automation, AI, I think there's a lot of people are simply not going to be able to keep up with the rate of change, and we need to provide a safety net for them so that they can actually continue to live as human beings.
Yeah. The human side of things. Interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, Gordon. And I know we're going a little bit past, I mean, the conversation's great. I'm writing all of it down. There is some intrigue afterward, and I will send you the presentation in this video afterward too. We're going to keep going through the room though. Howard, your thoughts?
I'm going to move a little bit off center on this one and make a comment about intersections between things that are going on. Nate Gilliott, who was on the call earlier, sent an article out in one of our prior sessions titled "The Disruptive Power Lies at the Intersections of All These Technologies." So, as I was preparing for today, I wrote down, what's the intersection of the future of work and climate change? What's the intersection of the future of work and robotics? We've kind of touched on. What's the intersection of the future of work and smarter cities? Right, and what's the interplay between these things? And I don't think we have answers for that right now. But Sean, as we look to build this out, right, we might want to think about teasing some of that for future work. Work from anywhere versus cost of labor is another one that's very active now. You can see as I said earlier, the financial companies are increasing base banker pay by 30%. They're trying to win the argument with money. I think the jury's out as to whether that's actually going to work. But anyway, those are my thoughts. I think moving this work forward, we need to look at intersections with other trends.
I think next month we're going to host an atelier, and Howard, you're going to come out at the end of the meeting going, I'm thinking about intersections of environment and space. Like, I think you've become my designated intersection person. So very true point on this one for sure. I'm looking around the room, and David Pickett's gone. I was looking forward to seeing his fuchsia shirt again. Agustin, your thoughts, if you're there? Usually he responds to Bora, some Brazilian soccer name that he's given himself, but he might not be there. So Catherine, I'm not too sure if you're available. Oh, I see a hi. Maybe not. Adewuni. Okay, the silent majority. Back up to my panelists again. Louise?
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody. This was just such a great session. I love hearing different people's perspectives. I think the call for me is, no matter what, and I love the intersectionality of it. I'm relying on you for that in the future. But I think that, we've been talking a lot about the physicality of things, physically getting back to the office, how things going to physically work. And without that golden thread of psychological safety, of trust, of finding a way of creating that through communications, all of this just falls apart. It can't work very well. And if we look at the startup community, the big battles that big business is having, or Wall Street, or the city in London, or Hong Kong, or wherever you might be, there are some common threads happening to different sized organizations who have a certain type of culture. So perhaps it's coming back to basics. It's coming back to how we lead. And it's the difficult thing, because it means that we as leaders need to do something about us. And then collectively as a leadership team, we've got to perhaps bring a little humility to the table and get a little vulnerable and take a look at how we're going about leading. And I loved the idea, behind, leadership as a using coaching and mentoring and all of these wonderful things that we've got available to us that we know so well how to do. So I think the hard work is not so much the physical arranging of our lives, so that we get purpose and meaning and, being paid the right money for the right job, and shouldn't that be the same the world over, kind of thing. But the important thing is taking a step back and having the courage to work on who am I as leader, and how do I build something that is really powerful and strong, the strong culture that's based on psychological safety, and at the heart of that is trust.
Love it. And trust seems to be a unifying word throughout this discussion, and it's tough in a digital world. And then I think Deb D, unless we can get some of the other speakers back, I think you may have the anchor woman job on this one.
Oh, okay. So I'm feeling woo-woo. I'm feeling incredibly optimistic, spending an hour and a half with people that really care and want to figure out how to make things better. I love that idea of intersection or events, because we've just gone through a human event that is historical, right? So I always wonder at this point, are we human enough to pause and really reflect and reset? Or will we jump back into what we thought was important before we had this big event? So can we learn? Can we elevate at the individual, the business, the country, the global, the whole level? Because we really had another indication on how interrelated we are before we have to deal with the next issue. So it's almost like you guys are a group of angels, right? Because there are many things at play that could not be good. But as long as we keep working on what's human, we can make things better. So there you go. There's my TED Talk, political TED Talk, to be a better human.
We usually, usually the after hours part of some of our events, we put hats on. In your case, Deb, it might be angel wings, given how you've just characterized us. So,
can I be Glinda the Good Witch? Because I always wanted to be Glinda the Good Witch from Wizard of Oz.
Hey, for being a panelist today, you can be whoever you want.
I have a crown. I have a tiara.
There you go.
She came ready. She came ready. I want to thank everybody. I have a few housekeeping things. Certainly, this topic lends itself to 10 people stepping up and wanting to do something of as I was telling Deb offline, it's kind of like maximum return for minimum effort. Hopefully as a TENSIM, we can pull together something in September that addresses this topic. So there was that last page in the GSG Jam FOW link. If you are interested, either put your name in chat right now and said interested FOW and your name, or go to that page more directly. Other things, it was funny, Deb, you walked into it in terms of, I wonder where it's all going to net out. Is the rubber band going to snap back, or are we going to be truly changed? We do have a survey on that right now. It covers off, will we accept long hair in the future, or will we go back to short hair and some really frilly stuff, and then some really societally interesting stuff. Here's our next event, September 16th. It's our 6th Atelier. Increasingly, our news wrap team continues to surface things about the environment and how fragile it is, and space, and how we're getting onto the boundary of really interesting discovery. So we're truly on the frontiers of frontiers here. September 16th at 4 p.m. ET. Ouch, Louise, I know. We've had a previous conversation. And then 7 and 8, we've already booked out till December. Swans and Nests, which is kind of like a speed dating for smart people, will be our 7th Atelier, and 1,000-day 3-year trend radar will be our November one. And then these are key projects. If you're interested in signing up to, and there's going to be a big push in the last week of August to go look, do we have projects here or not? Who's ever interested? We have these 9 projects. Some of them are small, some of them are mid-sized, and some of them are large. I won't go into them here. Hopefully the titles themselves speak to. I will send this presentation and the video out to everybody that joined today, and you can muse on these as we go. But we're looking for about 8 people per project to execute these. We're on Clubhouse. Rob, any promote on Clubhouse before we go?
This Sunday we'll be gathering with Howard and Augustin leading Clubhouse, and we'll be talking about the wrap and the week that was. And the theme is climate change, excitement, acceleration, deceleration, and is the planet really burning, or is it just a warm heat wave? We don't know for sure, but some people really do. Lots of things to talk about on Sunday, Sean.
Really smart conversation. And they say like great habits happen after about 6 weeks. We've been doing Clubhouse for 30 weeks. So bravo for if this was personal training, we would have sculpted abs by now from a sense making standpoint. So bravo.
I have ab knots. I have ab knots and ab nightmares and abstinence in many places. But thank you, Deb, for your tiara. Howard, Louise, always a pleasure working with you.
Always.
That's all we got. And I apologize once again. I know people say don't apologize for tech that you can't control, but it was a hygiene factor that influenced today. So I do apologize for that. We'll try to get it right in the future. Bruce, what's cooking in your pot? This is after hours officially.
Mm-hmm.